谢谢。你好。I would first of all like to thank my hosts, Mr. Tsui and Mr. Shen, for inviting me here. It is a great honor and a privilege to be able to speak to the Rising Star Director Program and you candidates. Now, I have not brought any clips. I have not brought PowerPoint. As a writer, I felt that would be kind of cheating. So you just have my words today. But as a screenwriter, what I have learned is something you will have to learn. You see, you have a very difficult job. You have to be a director, but you also have to be screenwriters as well, because you must know what a story is. Now, the question that was asked of all of the master speakers is, what is a movie? It seems like such a simple question, doesn't it? What is a movie? In fact, when I was first told that this was the topic I would be speaking on, I thought, well, this is too simple. Most of us, we think we know what a movie is, don't we? In fact, the very first movie means, by the way, motion picture, pictures that are moving. The first movie, I believe, was of a man sneezing, right? Then there was a horse that was galloping, running. Now, people thought for hundreds of years that horse never had all four hoofs off the ground, that there was always one on the ground. But when we saw the first movie of a horse running, we were able to see that actually all four hooves came off the ground. Then there was a movie, a film clip of a man, a cowboy, shooting a gun. The camera came right up to him and he took his gun and he went, and the audience all ran out of the auditorium. They thought they were being shot at. But is that a movie? No, that's not a movie. A movie is a story. It doesn't matter if you have $200 million or $1 to make a movie. If you don't tell a story, it isn't a movie. What is a movie, in my opinion? A movie is a story about someone we care about, someone we like, someone we admire, someone we respect, someone we want to be like. That person needs something. They want something. They must have something. And they will do anything they can to get it. Anything they can to get it. So it's a person we care about. They want something. They need something. And they will do anything they can to get that thing. Even if they have to die trying to get it. Now, that person I told you about, that person that we have to care about? Well, why do we care? Why do we care about this person? I'll tell you, there's something about that person, or it could be a thing, it could be a robot. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a horse or a dog. You know, movies aren't just about people. But there's something about that character, the hero, that reminds us of ourselves. There's something universal about that character. We see them, we see us. And what is it that makes us see ourselves in a character? They feel pain. They feel suffering. They have dreams. They have hopes. They have goals. They want something very badly, just like we do. So your job as a director, and your job as a screenwriter, because even though you're not a screenwriter, you better know what a screenwriter knows, or you're not going to be able to direct a picture. You're not going to be able to tell that story with pictures. So your job is to be cruel to that character, to make them suffer, to make them go through hardships. Never let up. The minute you let up, the story stops. As long as that character is trying to reach a goal and is suffering for it, you'll have the audience caring for their success. Now, what's the worst kind of pain that you can give to a character? Is it physical pain? That's not good. That hurts. Is it dying? Is that the worst that you can do to somebody? No, it's not. The worst kind of pain that we feel is humiliation. Have you all felt it in your life sometime? A teacher, a parent, your best friend. They did something, they said something to humiliate you. What is humiliation? It's that feeling we have that we're not worth very much. You know, we're not as good as that person or that neighbor, that teacher, that parent. When you can create a character that reminds us of ourselves, and we see them in pain, and we see them suffer unjustly, unfairly, then we will go with them. We will care about them. We want to see them succeed. We want to prove that teacher wrong, that parent wrong, that bully wrong. I'll give you an example. I was looking out my window at the hotel, and I saw something the first day we were here. A man, very old, was riding a bicycle, and he had many boxes stacked up on his bicycle, piled very high, and he was struggling to get through the traffic. And you could tell he was too old to be working this hard. And there was too many cars, and they were honking at him. And a car came very close to his cart, and he swerved out of the way. And all those boxes fell off. And now everybody was honking their horns at him. And people were yelling out the window, "Get going, old man. Get out of here. We're trying to get someplace." Now I know just from looking way up on the 10th floor of my hotel, I know something about this man. He's old. He's still working. Is he feeding his family? Is he taking care of his sick wife? Somebody should be taking care of him, but no, he's out in the traffic. And now his boxes have fallen. And maybe he'll be fired. All these things are going through my mind. And all I can think about is how I want him to get up, how I want somebody to help him, stop the car, get out, help this old man. My heart goes out to him. I feel pity. I'm afraid for him. I want his story to end up hopeful. Because when I'm an old man, I don't want my bicycle to fall over and my boxes to tumble. Now imagine this. I look over to the entrance of my hotel, and it's a beautiful 5-star hotel. And I see a Rolls Royce pull up to the front. That's a pretty nice car. That's a $300,000-$400,000 car. And I see a lot of people run to open the doors, the doormen, and I see people looking to see who this is, coming out of a Rolls Royce. And I'm curious too. Now what if he tumbled out of the car? What if this man who was so big and powerful and strong and important tumbled out of the car? You know what we might do? We might laugh. We might not find that so terrible. We might actually think that maybe he deserved a little humility. No, we don't know the man. But if we saw him first push a doorman aside, don't touch my jacket. Be careful of the car. Watch what you're doing. This is my car. I'm important. I'm wealthy. Now that man does not deserve our sympathy. We're not going to lose sleep over him. We're not worried about his wife, his children. Do you see why we have to create this sense of caring about that character? Do you see why we have to put pain into the story? Do you see why we have to show the struggle that people go through in order to really have a story that is satisfying? This character needs something. It's a person we care about who wants something very badly. Well, what does he need? The character, the whole movie is about the elimination of pain. All right, what is pain? Pain is either you want something that you don't have, a pretty girlfriend, money, that Rolls Royce. Once you get the girl, once you make the money, once you defeat the enemy, once that problem is gone, the movie is over. So you better find a way of keeping that pain alive for 2 hours, or you've got a short film on your hands. So it's the character, our main character, our hero, is somebody who needs something, right? What does he need to eliminate that pain? And that creates what we call the goal. And by the way, the pain could be something you want that you can't have, but pain could also be something that you have that you don't want. You know, you're not happy in your marriage. You wish you could find a way out of it. Bad people are after you. You owe some money. They want to collect it. What are you going to do? You're going to go on the run. You got to eliminate the pain. So pain is either not having something you want or having something you don't want. And that creates what we call the goal. The whole movie is about that struggle. And the goal has to have value. Okay? A movie can't just be about, something trivial, something unimportant, something that people really don't care that much about in life, because why would you go see a movie about someone struggling for something that really isn't that important? So movies are usually about things that are very important. I want to be the president. I want to be the best boxer. I want to be, whatever it is, that goal has to have value. And how do we know if it has value? Because it's scarce. There's not much of it. It's rare. Gold is valuable because it's rare. Diamonds are valuable because they're scarce. Power is valuable because it's scarce. Money is powerful because it's scarce. Sex is powerful. Well, it's not always scarce, but it's usually scarce for our hero, if that's what he wants. And we know that we've wanted that too. But so is love. Real, true love is scarce. The kind that Romeo and Juliet, the classics, are built on. That kind of love is scarce. And so is respect. Really, true respect is rare. And that goal has to have that value behind it, or the audience is not really going to care about staying with this character for 2 hours only to find him reach his goal and it doesn't mean anything. So, a movie is a story about someone we like, we care about, who wants something very badly, and then here comes the last part of it. And will do almost anything to get it, even include dying. All right? So, a movie character doesn't kind of want something. It's not like, I really wish that girl would, marry me. No. The character in your movie has to be obsessed with it, driven, absolutely consumed. They want it more than anything, more than life itself. Because that character will go to the end of the line, all the way. Nothing will stop that character. Nothing. You could put armies in front of him, mountains in front of him, rivers, lions, fires, tornadoes, guns. That character will not stop until he either gets that thing that we value or someone kills him. If he dies trying to get it, we admire that too, because that's as far as a hero can go. So you have really two endings to your movie. Your hero either gets that goal or something like it, or maybe something better than the goal. That's called the ironic ending. Or else they die. They died just this far from reaching whatever it is that they were after. That's why heroes are bigger than us. And that's why movies aren't made about just, average people. Average people feel and hurt and dream, but they don't dream as hard and as big and as long. Most people give up. They say, gee, I really wished I could have been a director. Really wish I'd done better in that Rising Star Directors program. I really wish they would have picked me, but they didn't. Well, I'll do something else. No, we don't want to see that guy. We want to see you. You really want this, don't you? You want this, yes. Of course you do. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have made an application. You wouldn't have maybe disappointed your parents because they want you to be an engineer, don't they? Or a doctor. No, you want to be a filmmaker. You know how crazy that is? Do you know what an insane dream that is, to want to be a filmmaker? In a world where everybody wants to be a filmmaker? That's crazy. You're my hero. You are my hero. And if you quit, I'm not going to watch your movie. You won't have a movie, will you? You won't have a story. Nobody wants to know the story of a quitter. So when you are making your picture, it's not just about figuring out the camera angles and, lighting the set and talking to the actors. Because I don't care how good your actors are, if this story's no good, nobody's going to care about it. You all know about, you've gone to movies that maybe they spend $100, $200 million on, and you say, yeah, it was okay. It's exciting, or good costumes, special effects, it's 3D, it was an experience. But this story really wasn't that good. That movie is not worth doing. Do a movie for $20,000 and do it right. That's more impressive to me than if you spend a studio's tens of millions of dollars and you don't have somebody we care about who really wants something that has value, that we value, that we would want for ourselves. And we'll go all the way to the end of the line to get it, no matter what. Make your characters dream big, but make them big enough to be able to achieve it. Now, the whole second act of your movie, and what you're going to spend most of the time on figuring out, is the struggle of the second act, where we put our hero's goal in jeopardy by creating obstacles, by putting things in front of this character that get harder and harder and harder as the story goes on, because we're testing the character. We want to see, really, does he have the stuff, or she, to get to the goal? Will they make the kind of decisions that will actually get them to the end of the movie where they have a chance of success? This is what we call conflict, right? So your character wants something of value very badly, but there's opposition. Other people don't want him to have that. Or maybe he has a physical disability, and it's almost impossible for him to actually do what he wants to do. I mean, there's any number of ways you can make it hard on your character, but never be afraid of making it really hard. The harder it is, the more interesting the movie will be to audiences. The more we'll fear that he isn't going to make it. But of course, you have to have a story in which the character can succeed, can achieve. So you have to sort of know where to set the bar, right? If you're going to set a high bar and jump over it, if it's Spider-Man, that bar can be as high as a skyscraper. But if it's that little man on the bicycle with the boxes, the bar for him is just getting home tonight. And if he makes it, you know what? He's as good as Spider-Man. In our hearts, we realize what he's accomplished is what heroes do. They don't quit. They get to the end of the line, they get their goal, or they die trying. We create setbacks. That's what the story does. We create surprise twists. Just when we think our character is going to make it, he opens the door and, uh-oh, something changes. The floor falls out. In an action-adventure, this is what you do. You constantly are creating bigger and bigger conflicts, bigger and bigger surprises. You also can trick the audience into giving them false hope. It looks as if perhaps he is going to do it. It's almost there. In fact, here it is, handed to him, but there it goes. Oh no, and now it's even harder to get. The hero, near the end of the movie, must reach what we call the darkest moment. This is just before the climax of the picture, where everything comes together, where he's going to have that last chance, that one last chance to get there. And you see, the darkest moment was when even the hero doubts himself. You know, the audience says there's just no way, he's not going to be able to make it, and the hero is ready to give up. He can't, though, can he? Because we won't have a story if he does. We'll have wasted an hour and a half of our lives in a theater watching a hero quit. You cannot have him quit. He will dig deeper. He'll find something else. Usually, it's something in his character. I mean, sometimes in action, it's like, oh, the gun, yes, now I can do it. But in a character drama, which is what I've always preferred to write, and which, of course, you know, Rain Man is sort of, that's what that is, character drama. The digging deeper usually means looking inside yourself, finding a quality that the audience saw was there, but the hero hasn't gone to that yet. That's that little bit of extra, that thing that separates the hero from the average person and allows them to make the finish and make it satisfying for the audience. If at the end of the movie, your character does not get either the goal or die trying to get the goal, what you've created is an unsatisfying movie that I don't care how good it looks, I don't care the kind of score you've got, I don't care how much money you've put into production values or how much you've paid your actor, I don't care what you think you've thrown at it, nobody cares. It's not a story. You know, jokes, when we tell a joke is just a really small little story. It has a form, it has certain functions to it. A car has functions, it has a purpose. We get in a car with the objective of driving it from point A to point B. That's why we have cars. Stories are the same thing. They are not magical, mystical things that only artists know how to do. When mothers put their children to bed at night and they tell them a story, they instinctively know what the child needs to feel satisfied at the end of the story. Otherwise, the child won't go to sleep. They'll say, Mommy, but then what happens? And you can't just say, well, then they moved, and so I don't know, right? You have to satisfy even the child's innate sense of story.